12 singles, 1 remote island, 0 second chances. They're about to say I do to practically a total stranger. Welcome to Honeymoon Island, where love gets wild and the survival gets personal. Think Married at First Sight, but with more sand in awkward places, and the drama of Survivor. Now shake it up with passion, betrayal, and a whole lot of sunscreen. I'm Emma.
I'm Moira.
And I'm Paige.
And we're what she said. This isn't your average honeymoon. This is Honeymoon Island on Channel 7. I'm really hoping that there's some drama like there was in MAFS.
Well,
because before we introduce the couples, I have noticed that some people that liked a person in the first episode, you see that they've actually been matched with someone else in the second episode. But we're only going to touch on episode 1 tonight.
Can I tell you that you are most probably in for a hell of a lot of drama, because I have just recently found out that this Stranded on Honeymoon Island is actually produced by Endemol Shine. The same production company that is responsible for MAFS and also Survivor, which combined together gives us this. And I also heard that it was actually first announced in October 2023 and that was filmed around the same time, but Channel 7 haven't released it until now.
Shut the front door.
Big is the question, what are we in for?
Yeah, jump in, strap on. Nope, don't strap on. I mean, if that's what you're after.
I don't think they have the strap-ons on the island. They've got limited supplies.
Or do they? Who knows what supplies they have. So essentially,
strap in and join us for the ride.
Woo!
Got there in the
Much
end.
more PG. So essentially what we've got are strangers who are spending 21 days on an island alone together. What we know is that all these strangers went on a speed dating, met at a pub. It wasn't an online or virtual thing, so they actually met in person, had a speed date for 2 minutes each, and the matchmakers from the show went along to the singles night to look for people who had the chemistry. Yeah. They all wore a number, and then I guess at the end they all said which one their preference was.
And they didn't exchange names either.
No.
They weren't allowed to exchange names.
Or occupations. They weren't allowed to say what they did or what their name was. But now they're trapped on an island for 21 days, for 3 weeks. So we met 3 couples in episode 1. So the first couple we met were Byron, who's 33 from the Gold Coast. He's an electrician. He was matched with Bree, who was 28 and a performer from Melbourne. That is couple number 1. Couple number 2 was Amy, who's 30 from Queensland, and she's a TikToker. And she was given 2 options. We saw her options. One was Hayden. He's 29 from Melbourne. We only know him as the 6'4" man-bun. Or there was Mike, who's 37, who's a Kiwi in New Zealand, and he enjoys stand-up comedy as a side hustle, and he also hosted a motorsports TV show.
I like Mike.
Yeah. Oh. Then our third couple was Chad. Chad is 46 and he works within the orthopedics realm. So he actually works on the devices for joint replacements. And he was matched with Georgia, who is 35 and an international flight attendant. They are our couples in episode 1.
They are my favorites so far.
Yes. All right, well, let's talk about the first lot. So we had Byron, 33, and we had Bree, who's 28. And can I just say, I don't know whether the producers told them to say this, and I think in my heart of hearts, I knew that they did. I'm going to choose to live in La La Land and pretend that they thought of this by themselves. But when they met and they were like, hi, my name's Byron, like the bay. And she's like, hi, I'm Brie, like the cheese. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. Is that how they have to introduce themselves these days? Or did the producers just tell them to say that? I loved it either way.
So Brie has admitted that she is a commitment phobe. So
maybe not phobe. I think maybe more of a fear of commitment. I don't think she's got a phobia per se, because she's definitely willing to try it. So I wouldn't say that she's a phobia.
She's
I would
commitment
just say that
adverse.
yes.
Yes, very adverse commitment.
Yes. And Byron is looking to settle down, looking for the one, which is really lovely to see. The only thing I noticed coming out of that episode 1 with those two was it was almost paralyzing for her, this commitment,
Yes.
and you could say phobia, because it was almost paralyzing her to the point of which I wrote, she's lazy. She's coming across as being lazy when he was trying to do the fire and she was just lying there and he's like, I don't know what's happened. She's just gone completely into herself.
What's that saying? Flight, freeze,
Fight.
or freeze, yeah. For her, I think it's definitely she said she wants to swim away. She can't. She's on an island. So she's freezing. She's laying there and she's literally feeling tired because she's so emotionally overwhelmed by being stuck on this island for 21 days with a guy that she doesn't know. I think it'd almost be worse if it was somebody that she was already sort of dating because of that commitment fear. And you could really see the fear. It was obvious. I felt emotional for her.
Yeah.
Felt empathy for her.
I suppose the important thing that needs to be addressed is that even though she has this immense fear, as long as he is willing to come to the party and coax her to engage and open up, I guess that's where it's going to crumble down, is if he's not willing to meet her where she's scared and say, hey, I'm your person now. I'm going to be here with you. I'm not going anywhere. And I know that you want to, but I'm not going to go anywhere.
Well, we see a little bit later on in episode 1, he appears to be really emotionally intelligent because he actually has that chat with her. Uncomfortable. I don't know his exact words, but it's something along the lines of, I can see you feeling really uncomfortable. Let's work together. And then a bit of a spoiler alert, day 2 may be a little bit different for her. I'm really excited to watch their journey and to hopefully see her flourish.
She did seem to come around after they retrieved the box from the ocean.
The box
that had a video message from her brother in it that seemed to talk to her as if he knew that she was probably going to be going through something like this. And I had just made a note that Bree's brother and Byron look like they'd be mates.
Yeah. They're a really cute couple, I think. And I'm really optimistic. I know it's only like day 1, day 2. I'm optimistic. They seem both really genuine, lovely people. And I think Byron is a really good match as far as he appears he's going to be the helping hand.
Yes.
And really make her comfortable.
Yes. However, well, look, I'm speaking like a mum now.
All right.
And it just seems like he's going to have to put in a lot of heavy lifting to get her to a comfort zone. And that's almost pulling away from his experience and trying to get to know her. Because at the moment, it's just trying to be there, trying to focus on what he's doing so as not to put her off instead of being himself. He's now trying to almost walk on eggshells to make sure that she's okay. And it's like, well, no, you're not getting a really good experience, are you?
Yeah.
It's annoying. For me, it's like, I get that this is a situation for you. And yes, he needs to be there and help her through the situation. Well, that's great. So he's just been lumped with someone who has come on with some issues that have reared their bloody ugly head very early in the game. It just doesn't seem like he's getting a good experience from it. And as a mum of boys, I'm kind of like, listen here, woman, pull your shit together and let him have a good time too.
I guess that's probably what happens. They've jumped in the deep end. That's what it is. They've jumped in the deep end. But when you're first starting to date, those are things that you work through, and you are able to build that connection. And I guess there's no way of getting around that. Do they need to have people who are both emotionally mature and understand that it's a give and take in a relationship with someone that you have no idea about, you've never met them before, and you're there to build that maturity within yourself, yes, but you've also got to be willing to allow that other person to flourish.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like you're literally using the pun jump in the deep end when they have to jump off the boat
Literally
to get to the island.
That would be me.
Those
I would be
poor
like,
brides.
I'm out. I can't swim. So, yeah, I'll
I
just
was
stay on the boat.
thinking that. I was like, is that part of the questionnaire when they're applying for the
You
show?
have to be able to
you
swim
swim?
50 meters. I'd be like, nope.
Can you swim fully clothed? Because dresses, can you imagine?
Look, let's be
material?
honest. You know, you get something that's polyester, it's going to float. You just put some air underneath there and you use it as a floaty. You'll be right.
Fair. All right. Well, let's move on to the next couple. We have Amy, and she ended up being matched with not the 6'4" man-bun who she wanted, but Mike, the 37-year-old Kiwi from New Zealand. And boy, did she look disappointed.
Oof.
Yeah, straight up.
Oof.
Now, the moment I saw Amy on the show, I was like, I know that face and I know that voice. And when she said she was a TikToker, I was like, yes, I know exactly who you are because I was following you. So I was interested to see her personality and what that comes across as. Because, you know, you can see someone who's performative on a social media platform and then who they are outside of it. And I guess you're still performative because at the end of the day, it's a TV show.
That's right.
She clearly wanted the man bun and she was really disappointed.
Just to be honest, my note was her voice grates on me. I can't stand it.
I think that they're both very big personalities, and I think that there's going to be a fight for the leader. Personally, this is what I have noticed with relationships. Not that I'm in one, as everyone knows. But wearing the top hat can change in different aspects and scenes and situations and whatever day-to-day life brings you. Someone will relinquish the hat, someone will keep the hat on. But I don't think that these two are going to be able to do that.
No.
I think that Mike may be, because he's clearly infatuated with her. He said the moment that he saw her, that he thought that she was beautiful. He believes in love at first sight. And I think that's where he's at the moment. But I think further on down the track, it's going to go, well, I'm here too. Like, let me be in charge for once.
Yeah, look.
That's just what off the cuff is what I'm feeling.
See, I already know because I've watched episode 2. But I found it funny how she said that she was disappointed with her choice, but he said
he thought that was a spark.
Like he felt the chemistry.
Yeah.
So my question was, you meet someone, and if you're the one that feels the chemistry, automatically you think, well, we've got chemistry. Like, I can feel it.
Yeah.
I've never actually put myself in the other person's shoes, and perhaps they've not felt the chemistry. Like, I thought a spark was a spark, right?
Yeah.
How silly was
But
I?
can I just say, I don't know what he was feeling. Maybe he had peed his pants or something. And that's the warmth that he felt. Because when I was watching it back, I was like, she's giving him patronizing. Oh, that was lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, that was great. You did well there. That I was getting more teacher to a student vibe than I was getting, oh my God, this is the man of my dreams. And what's interesting, I thought, was when he said his fear was to be stuck on an island with someone who won't listen. And I was like,
oh, buddy.
Yeah. And that's where I think it comes with casting. Did they know that they were going to clash and it was going to make good TV?
Well, I don't know, because when I saw his little snippet and he was like the motor car driving and stuff, I was like, oh, he's like an adrenaline person. Like, he likes a bit of fun. And she seems like a little pocket rocket. She seems like she would be a lot of fun and it would be good content, and that mixes really well together. So I actually thought they would be a good match until there was like this real power struggle. I can see her being like, I've got it together. I'm an independent woman. And he's kind of like, I need to be the man in the situation. And, you know,
actually said, she's a woman, I'm a man, just chill out, I've got this.
Wrong generation for that comment.
I think that there's a multitude of ways that can be taken. And the way that I'm going to say it, you're probably going to go, Paige, how would you know? You're single. But having a man say, I am the man, you are the woman, I've got this. I understand where he's coming from because I've got this. I can carry you. I've got you. I'm in your corner. I've got this.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the other way which it could be taken is quite condescending and patronizing, as in,
yes,
you're the little woman, you belong in the kitchen, that's where you need to stay because I'm the man and I've got this. So there's two different ways that it can be taken.
Yes.
I prefer the first version because that's what I would like in a relationship.
I think his is, who does number 2 work for? Definitely number 2 for him.
So Paige, just to go back on your comment there about Mike and what you thought he meant by that comment. They also retrieved a box from the ocean, and as everyone else did, they got a video message from a loved one. He got a video message from his ex.
Uh-huh.
And Mike's ex said that her advice to Mike would be to be respectful, that he made her feel small, and to not get into nitpicking or over analyzing. And she gave a message to his now wife to stick up for herself and be firm.
Yes, okay. So he's definitely patronizing.
He's definitely got a habit that's emerged.
Amy then just called it and said that she thinks he's a misogynist.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think she was looking for a way out because I think she wasn't feeling it either. And she said, well, actually, yes, you made me feel small. Some of the things you were saying I didn't like. Some of the things you were doing I didn't appreciate. So she's basically said that they're not even friends.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, I read that wrong, didn't I?
And he has kind of just gone, wait, hold on. We had chemistry. We had a spark.
No, you had chemistry.
Which was my question. What is chemistry? Like, how can one person feel it and not the other?
It is probably the whole situation of it all. You're hoping and you're praying that the other person actually finds you attractive and that you're both attracted to each other. And the emotions that are running through you on that day, you're probably standing there going, yeah, sure, yep, got this, yep, we're both vibing each other, when really you've got no idea because it's such a, I'm going to use the word that we always used to love using, a pressure cooker of a scenario.
Or you're just so wrapped up in yourself that you don't even want to see the other person's point of view. And you just go, do you know what? You're right for me. I know I'm right for you. That's it. There's a spark there. We're done.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, no, I have an opinion. Can I have a say in how I feel about this situation? Because it's not sparking. There's no chemistry lab here, mate. It is dull and dusted. So I feel like that's probably what it is. He thought he looked wonderful, she looked wonderful, and they were a great match.
If they were a fire, they'd be out.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I did laugh, though. She's like, I've got this, when she's trying to cut open the coconut with the machete. And then I see later she has a Band-Aid on her finger.
Yeah, because he said, he was like, can you cut up those vegetables? And she was like, yeah, I can do that. And he goes, it's going to be quite hard. Like, it's going to be a bit tricky or something like that. She's like, yeah, I've got this. It's an axe. There's no knife. Because I was like, why would he say that? And I'm like, oh, it's like a machete, like a knife. And then he's like, if you did that on a rock or something, you wouldn't get sand on the coconut. She's like, it's fine, I'll just wash it. And I'm like, wash it? The whole point is to cut open the coconut where the milk is. If you wash it, you're just going to wash the, like, what?
I know. I think that he has a bit more of an idea on how to camp than what she does.
But she also said that she'd never been camping.
Yeah. And it's obvious.
It's fair that she has no idea what she's doing.
I'm wondering whether she's ever been to a beach where there's sand either, because anybody that's been to a beach knows that sand gets in everything. So you'd want to be cutting that food on something else.
Yeah. If only they had a trivet.
Do you know what? Well done. Well played. You know what I find interesting though is that they were all so coy about taking their dresses off, and I was like, hold on. You're in your undies. Essentially,
Yeah.
that's what bathers are. So why not just get out of your dress instead of going, okay, if we cut it here, no, let me get out of it before you take a machete to my legs. I mean,
Yeah.
I would be more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know whether they were advised prior to getting to the island that there wouldn't be other clothes.
So
Oh,
I
is
feel
there
about
not?
Survivor sometimes when I'm like, why wouldn't you
But
layer
even
up? I
with
mean,
Survivor, they get clothes.
so that's Amy and Mike,
But
and I have a big oh no.
Mm.
yeah, absolutely.
And then last but not least, we had Chad and we had Georgia.
I have not seen these two.
See, this was my problem with MAFS, is I was like, they seem really nice. He seems like a nice guy. She seems like a lovely person. And then I get caught out halfway through, and towards the end, I'm like, he's an asshole. I have warmed to Chad. Him and Byron, my favorite so far.
Yeah, me too.
So I quite like him, and I'm sure this might come back to bite me in the ass, but for the moment, from
They
what I
always
know
do.
of him, I quite like him. He normally goes for women who aren't in need of that emotional availability from him, because I think he spends a lot of his time with his mum, who was a single mum, and his
Mhm.
sister, who has special needs.
Sister. Yeah.
Um, then we meet Georgia, and she is an international flight attendant who 3 days before her wedding, her partner called it off with no apology,
Oh
no
my
explanation,
gosh.
just I'm not showing up. I'm not,
Yeah.
I won't be there.
How
So
heartbreaking.
she said it was really raw for her, considering it was a destination wedding.
Looks like Fiji.
So it was really hard.
This is the spark difference, right, between Mike and Chad, is that
Mhm.
when Georgia was coming up the aisle and Chad had said to her after they had done their vows and everything, he said, come and join me. And it was kind of a
Oh.
gentle leading motion, as opposed
Mhm.
to, I'm the man and you're the wife and I'm here and I will do the manly things.
Yeah.
Beat my chest.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
was like, you can really tell, one, a maturity difference that 10 years makes, and two, a gentle leader as opposed to a,
Misogynist.
no, that's not the word, like
Amy's word. Amy's word.
caveman behavior.
Yeah.
But
Me, Tarzan. You, Jane.
I quite like that couple. I hope they can go the
I really like
distance.
Chad and Georgia. And it's just me being the romantic and, having optimism and love and fairy dust and all the rest. But I can see them together for a long time. They just seem comfortable together.
Yeah.
What I perceive as chemistry, but obviously my chemistry is wrong because I didn't understand the whole two people couldn't feel it at the same time. But like I see chemistry between them, and I'm hoping for longevity because they seem
Yes.
so sweet.
Obviously, for episode 1, they saved the best for last.
Yeah, so I'm back in Chatta, Georgia. I am seeing sparks and fireworks from Amy and Mike, and not in the way that Mike intended. That's more like a
the
bonfire
sparks
than
from the
a
machete hitting a rock when Amy throws it at him.
yeah. And I would tune in for that. And then we have Byron and Bree. Now, at the end of episode 1, it gives you a trailer into episode 2.
Mhm.
And it looks like Bree is coming to spill the tea.
Oh.
Bree's got some ammo up her sleeve, and she is not saving it for the 21 days. She is firing shots.
Oh gosh.
So, let's talk episode 2.
So that's a wrap of episode 1 of Stranded on Honeymoon Island. We've met our 3 couples, Bree and Byron, Amy and Mike, and Georgia and Chad. If you've enjoyed what you've been listening to, don't forget to follow, like, or subscribe. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify, or go check us out over on YouTube, where you can see all our facial expressions. A lot of people say that we've got personal inside jokes. We do, but a lot of the time, it's just our facial expressions. So go check that out. I'm Emma.
I'm Moira.
And I'm Paige.
And you've been listening to our extra segment of What She Said. Bye.
Bye.